Hello and welcome. Today we have one of the aspiring medical graduate who has taken USMLE, Dr. Harshadayani Jagdish Kumar. Welcome to our channel, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you, Dr. Kashyap, for the meeting and the recording.
Absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, my name is Harshadayani. I'm currently in Detroit, so I'm an aspiring neurologist, and I'm currently doing research and
Fantastic. So Harshadayani, you had a question you wanted to get answered. We thought we can provide this video. So go ahead and what is your question?
so I would like to publish a paper. So, what are the important aspects of a cover letter to submit to the editor and to show that we are interested that a paper is worth publishing in their journal?
All right, absolutely. So what we can do is I'm going to share my screen and then see if we can share with everybody else in that regard. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. So cover letter is an important part. It's all work is done. You did the design the study. You have written it now and you're ready to submit it and you're submitting everything else and then say, you need to write a cover letter. You have never heard of it before, or maybe you've written in the past. So let's provide you some very quick 5 to 7 minutes details how to write a cover letter and what would a good cover letter would look like. What did it put together into these 4 major areas? I hope you can see all of them. Is what does a good cover letter contains these major 4 areas. One is the usual. There has to be a date of the date of submission you're submitting the cover letter. Making sure that you're addressing the editor-in-chief, EIC, means you have done the due diligence in finding out the name of that person, maybe he or she who's listed there. Pay attention to their degree and you write down if they're MD, DO, DNP, PhD, then address them as a doctor. Or if you know they're a professor, then please address them as a professor or doctor as using the proper salutation. That is a professional courtesy. You want to extend it to somebody who will be taking pains to review and look at it and probably assign to a reviewer. Second part is, this is the main part. You write down about your article detail. You talk about your title. You write down your title in inverted commas. You talk about it's a study. Is it a retrospective cohort study? Is it a cross-section study, randomized control trial, systematic review, meta-analysis, or a case report? Make sure that you are clear when you're talking about what type of study you're submitting. That helps them scan through these submissions very quickly. You will write a very brief summary of your results, 2 or 3 sentences. No more than that. You have written everything else there. Just make sure that you're writing that small summary, that what it is adding to the field as well. Write a separate sentence or start a new paragraph about what is a unique about your paper and the timeliness about your paper, that why it is important for them to consider for sending it for reviewer, not submitting it at desk, or they call it desk rejection. You will not be, of course, writing the desk rejection. You'll be saying it is important to be considered to in your esteemed journal, that this is a unique part coming out from our study, or this is timely because nobody has published it, or one of the first one, or whatever important part it is. The third thing is, you always want to keep the journal audience in mind. You want to say why this paper would be pertinent to this particular journal's audience. You want to write 1 or 2 sentences that this is going to be important for your journal's audience because this paper is within the realm of the usual publications come out of it. If your study is large enough, data is big enough, you've done a survey in a large enough, a national global survey, then you can comment about generalizability and thus the citation possibilities, that this study would be highly generalizable and then will enhance the citations or achieve quicker, faster citations as this there's not much is done. Last, you want to mention about author's approval, that all authors have approved for it. You want to talk about there are no competing submission. This is the only submission you're doing. You may have published it before. You don't have to mention. You may have submitted and rejected before. You don't need to mention about that. You just say this is the first time you're submitting, or this is the only time you're submitting, or this is the only journal you're submitting at this point. You can't have, that's not a good practice. It's unethical to submit the same paper to multiple journals same time. You want to do in series, not in one after another. You want to do one after another, not simultaneously. You get it submitted. If you got rejected, you wait for rejection, then submit somewhere else. Or it's already in consideration for review, without withdrawing from that particular one, you can't submit to another journal for sure. And then including signature details. You are a corresponding author on behalf of corresponding author, or your email ID, your institution's name, your phone number or something like that, but at least have a tiny signature listed there below your cover letter. Do you have to sign a cover letter? Probably not. I have not seen much that people have to sign it. It's given that you're writing it and you're submitting it either on behalf of yourself or maybe behalf of your corresponding author, you're submitting it as well. So in summary, the essential informations are: have a date for sure, address the editor by name when known, otherwise you can just say dear editor-in-chief or associate editor. Address them doctor if they have MD, PhD, DO or DNP degrees, or any doctoral degree for that matter. Make sure you're listing name of the journal, and make sure if you're doing submissions one after another, please change your cover letter. People end up submitting old journals name into that one. That is a big no. They may just reject it right away because you're not careful enough. Manuscript title, type of the study, the research question you're seeking to answer, and principal finding or main finding is going to be the key, which will make the bulk of your letter. Keep it one page. You don't need to go beyond one page for that matter. Write down the corresponding author's content information, and then definitely the statement I was talking about, that it has not been previously published and that's not under consideration by another journal. And then, all authors have been published as well. So these are the few minor things. You have to do it once or twice. You can use the same template for any other paper you will be submitting it, because now you have developed that template for it. So I think this is my brief intro to what should be written as a good cover letter. Anything else you want to add, Harshada?
So I heard that you also have to talk about the conflict of interest about so should we talk about that at the end of the para, or how should we put in?
Yeah, not necessarily unless there's a requirement on cover letter. Most of the time, journals will have a separate statement listed in the manuscript somewhere as a conflict of interest statement, either in the manuscript body or in submission profile. And then when you look at the cover letters instructions, sometimes they ask you that it should be included there, all authors' names and this thing and that thing and that thing. The confusions are sometimes people get confused for the cover letter, like they are talking about the first page of the article where just the name of the title, all authors and all those things. If that's a requirement, you just submit that, where you have corresponding author information, keywords, the conflict of a statement, acknowledgement, and all those things as well. This is more of a formal. I would say 80% of the time when I submit publications, I submit the letter as actual letter to thank you and all those things. And then 20% time it's just the first page of your manuscript, which includes all the information of conflict of interest in statement, acknowledgement, keywords, and so on and so forth. Any other questions you have, Harshada? Any there?
Should we mention? So should we mention the author names of all the authors, or just the principal author?
Yeah. So if you're writing the cover letter, which I just showed it to you, or 80% of the time, you're not mentioning any author's name. But if you're submitting the first page of the manuscript as a cover letter, which includes your title, all co-authors, all their affiliations, word count, corresponding author information, acknowledgement, keywords, conflict of interest, there you're listing all co-authors. Basically, when you write a paper and you list all the co-authors, that goes in there. But that is usually you submit 20% time only. It based on the journal's preferences.
Thank you.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you asked this question and we got a chance to record this video. Those who are watching for the first time, please like, subscribe to our channel, write in comment section how you liked it, and we'll be bringing you some similar topics in future as well. Thank you so much for watching.